Hi guys, Sergey here, doing a special video response for Flaming Shadows on DeviantArt. This video is completely unscripted and spontaneous, so I wasn't scheduling to do it after my Turrican 3 Let's Play has concluded. But at the same time it's fine to try something different, just to sit at the laptop and talk casually. Not that I did it in my Resident Evil retrospective. Yeah, it was lame. Or in the actually Turrican 3 Let's Play. Yeah, it kicked ass. Anyway, the topic I wanna talk about is why do I make art I make? In the same vein that Flaming Shadows did. Alright, so if you have seen my artworks, I'm sure you did. They are all over my Facebook, VK, Google+, DeviantArt primarily. So yeah, they are beyond easy to find. So if you look at them, you may notice that they have very thick and strong anime influence, especially the earlier ones where I was going all for like kawaii style and sexy outfits, stuff like this. Stuff that I'm trying to distance myself from in recent times, and judging from what I produce, I'm actually getting a hold of it already. Well, anyway, so my primary influence in drawing, you might think it's anime, but it's not. It's not. My main inspiration can be traced back to cinema, and American cinema at that. You see, two of my all-time favorite movies, not the two, but among, of course, are Blade Runner, which is my all-time favorite movie by far, and Streets of Fire, which is a little tiny bit inferior, but only because there should be only one most favorite movie, and Blade Runner already occupies this spot. Anyway, to describe my artistic principle, I would like to quote Walter Hill, the director of Streets of Fire. The quote actually is kinda long, so I'm just gonna recite the most important parts. So, Streets of Fire is by design, comic book in orientation, mock epic in structure, movie heroic in acting style, operatic in visual style, and cowboy cliché in dialogue. In short, a rock and roll fable where the leader of the pack steals the queen of the hop and soldier boy comes home to do something about it. That was part one of the quote. Part two, I tried to make what I would have thought was a perfect movie when I was in my teens. I put in all the things I thought were great then and which I still have great affection for. Custom cars, kissing in the rain, neon trains in the night, high-speed pursuit, rumbles, rock stars, motorcycles, jokes in tough situations, leather jackets, and questions of honor. End of quote. And basically that's what I am doing. I am not only cargo cult copying the anime style, which would be beyond stupid and waste of imagination. I'm fusing everything I like little by little into my works. From anime to the 80s action movies, to the psychedelic rock like Hawkwind, to video games, because I'm a huge gamer and I consider myself, I know it's arrogant, but I consider myself sort of like a walking encyclopedia of video games and a big action movie geek, so I have no choice but experience some influences of those. And as for Blade Runner, well, it's kinda hard to describe, but Blade Runner and probably a lot of other movies, I think, Stanley Kubrick was very good at it. It was his trademark style. Stanley Kubrick, David Lynch, and Ridley Scott in Blade Runner. These directors tried building their movies not so much on a logical narrative, but on the experience, the visuals, the emotions that you feel while watching them. In fact, most of my friends didn't watch Blade Runner because they thought it was too boring and not too, flashy and action packed. But it's not supposed to be. It's not about the action scenes and shootouts and I don't know, crazy visuals. It doesn't have too much of neither. It's kind of a movie that you should watch in headphones with lights turned off, with all your like Skypes, Facebooks offline, and like absorb the emotions that you are experiencing while watching it, or even just the emotions you receive by looking at screenshots, for example, or like reading the Wikipedia article on their analysis. So that's another side of my works. They may not be extremely detailed and realistic. They are not even close. But what I'm not trying to express hidden meanings like, I don't know, fucking Felicia from Darkstalker standing in front of the World Trade Center. Okay? I'm trying to produce emotions from the viewer, like, for example, the majority of my works are, my OCs. OC stands for original character, if someone's not aware. So my OCs, like, just standing in action poses. Why? Why do I draw this stuff? Let's take this as an example. So, from Steers of Fire, what I have as an influence? Like, every cartoon show, anime, TV show, action movie from like 80s, early 90s, some of the 2000s, I think, they had to have such shots on the box art or like during the movie. Good examples would be Tombstone and X-Men 3, which are actually quite recent movies. Not so much, but you know. So what I'm trying to draw is like a cover art for a non-existent DVD or Blu-ray, or a screenshot from a non-existent movie, or like a screenshot from a non-existent video game. It's like a simulacrum. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right, but if you Google it up, you'll get what I mean. So yeah, simulacrum. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right at all. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's the part I get from Streets of Fire, like fusing what I personally like and exposing it to a wide audience. And actually, Streets of Fire is not the only example of this. Writers and directors like Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith and even Rob Zombie work the same way, like exposing through their works their own personal preferences, like not doing what is cool, what they think would be cool for everybody, but just showing, giving in some hints on what, I don't know, Kevin Smith, this exact Kevin Smith personally likes. Yeah, and from Blade Runner, again, I'm trying to capitalize on the emotions. Like, you see an OC like standing in this badass action pose, like ready to kick some off-screen baddies, and you think, yeah, this has dynamic, this is flowing. Your imagination draws like all the subsequent frames of him or her like going on kicking some ass. For example, you can take one of my recent, as of today, works with my new OC named Nee Einhorn, where she has this like laser angelic wings and flying towards the camera. There's a comment by an awesome guy, Ruby Cord, where he said that like, yeah, she's like, I'm going to slice you, and that's exactly the purpose I was following, to make you feel, to make you emote. Actually, I will admit, since recently, I have a very strict quality control of what I produce. Like, you might have noticed, or if you didn't, rolled out a big controversial journal that I removed all my quote unquote sexy artworks, but not all, not all. For example, Michelle from the Endangered Species, my sci-fi novel I'm writing with my girlfriend. Right, so Michelle is has a lot of like saucy uh, shots of her like, with cleavage and stuff, and she is obviously a like sexy goth vampire stereotype, but the character herself is aware of that. So like she knows she's a stereotype. She knows she's sexy, and she doesn't have any problem in dressing all seductive and yeah, so on. But I'll say now she's an exception because the majority of other ladies like Dawn, or she's actually the main character in Sergei Savenko's Megiddo, the game I'm currently developing. Yeah, product placement, sorry. Okay, so Dawn, for example, was designed by me, sorry, designed by me to like be the complete opposite of what the video game characters are today, and even what the female video game characters were back then. She's not sexy. Her breasts are rather small. She is not particularly beautiful, and she's always silent, so no wisest, one-liners or stuff like this. So yeah, and she wears a skin-tight leather outfit, sort of, yeah, but it's not that kind of sexy, like for example Catwoman from Batman Returns, stuff like this. So she was specifically designed not not like a satire, but like a reaction to all the overly sexualized artworks I'm sadly seeing. But as I've said, I have sexualized artworks myself, but I provide the reason why they are sexualized. I'm talking about all this pointless stuff. It's off topic, sorry. Okay, so quality control, I think you get it. If I draw anything that's, sexy, but this sexiness doesn't have a point, I will never post it. I will never scan it. I will never cover it. Also, there are some occurrences where I'm like drawing what may be a decent image by itself, like with all the proportions kept and some of my own personal favorite OCs as the stars, maybe. But if I don't feel any emotions that this produces, I will just again throw it to the garbage bin, and the world will never see it. I don't know. I won't say that what I publish is the minority of what I draw, because it's not the case. Actually, such examples are really rare, where I just throw away the decent images just because they have no meaning. They're bland, they're boring. Alright, so basically, yeah, I think these are my three main artistic principles. Let's recap, I think. So, principle 1, postmodernism and fusion of things I personally like. Like me, this exact Sergey, what he personally likes, he incorporates in his artworks. 2, I rely on emotions more than on coherent narrative. Again, if you're a fan of Stanley Kubrick, David Lynch, or Ridley Scott in some of his movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about, so no point in resuming. And the third milestone is quality control and self-restraint. Because, sorry, because when somebody is joking like, hey, you're producing all these artworks like a conveyor, I say no. When I start feeling like a conveyor, I stop. Because it may also have something to do with the music which I listen to while I'm drawing. Because some music is really distracting and I just can't put myself together, and like give a birth to an emotion that I am trying to incorporate in what I'm drawing. It doesn't necessarily mean the music is bad. No, no, no. I don't listen to bad music. But it may be too inappropriate and unfitting for that particular drawing. For example, if I'm drawing something really dark or gory, I'm not sure if I will listen to glam rock or something. And quite the opposite, if I'm drawing something like upbeat, light-hearted, cute, I'm pretty sure that Savior Machine or Nine Inch Nails would not be the best choice for that. Yes, so while I'm thinking about it, yeah, the best musical choices like I may recommend you are the movie scores. But which movies? Let me see. Okay, so for example, today I was mostly writing while listening to the score for Pitch Black. Yeah, the first movie in the Riddick series. By the way, Riddick was lame. I digress. Okay, so Pitch Black soundtrack. Also Sunshine by Danny Boyle, that awesome sci-fi thriller with Cillian Murphy, or is he Cillian? Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy? I don't know. In Russian, he's usually called Cillian. I'm not sure. Anyway, so Sunshine soundtrack, yeah, which is awesome. There is also Jinro. That's an anime. It's also known as Jinro the Wolf Brigade. Also very nice score to accompany drawings. And ironically another soundtrack to Streets of Fire. While all the previous soundtracks I listed are instrumental, Streets of Fire is all about rock and roll stuff, all the different kinds of rock and roll, and it, unlike the first three, well, maybe the Pitch Black score is not too dark. So the Streets of Fire soundtrack is a good choice for upbeat, cute drawings to me. Okay. So I guess we have a fourth milestone here. A thorough musical selection while drawing. Okay, so I guess that's about it. Technically my drawings are very simple. I was experimenting with some surreal collage style things in the past. I'm planning actually a comeback to them, yeah, I do. I sort of did already actually with my, with the logo of my blog and my recent, as of right now, image of Ched and Natalia from Blue Horizon, another sci-fi story I'm writing, this time by myself. Yes, so collage styles, real abstract stuff, I've done it very rarely actually. Which I think is ironic considering how I'm trying to convey emotions first and logic later. And I'm always experimenting. I don't want to rip myself off. That's what I was talking about when I respond to everybody, well, anybody saying that I'm working like a conveyor. So I do not want to work like a conveyor. I want to be fresh, new and original all the time. Well, not maybe all the time, but I want to bring something new, something previously unseen. But I guess that fits into the strict quality control part. Yeah, but I'm always experimenting and trying different coloring styles, as subtle as they may be. Some 3D models in Net Radiant. Can call it a product placement because it's freeware and open source, or whatever. Yeah, so 3D models, 3D backgrounds, stuff like this. So yeah, I'm just like trying to find my thing, trying to find what I do best. What I do best, indeed, is for the viewer to decide. And what do I personally do best? Well, I guess it's my lifetime task, and That's the whole purpose of me being an artsy-fartsy guy. Okay, not necessarily fartsy. Alright, I'm not sure if I'll be able to say something new right now. I'm already repeating myself, so I guess that's it, yeah. That's what I draw, and that's why, according to the feedback, I'm drawing pretty good. See ya.